and Stephanie, for agreeing to sit on and kind of just do an update. It's been really exciting to hear about, you know, the Graystone and the location it's in, and thought it'd just be a good opportunity to, again, to get kind of an overview of what you guys have going on as you kind of start to do your sales. And more people start asking, you know, what's going on over there, and just good for all agents and buyers alike, whether they're, you know, looking specifically now or down the road, to have kind of all the scoop on what you guys have going on there. So I think I'm going to let you guys kind of lead the show here and talk more about your product.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much. So I'm Stephanie Schuessler. If you don't know me already, Ashley and I were just talking. I've been in the business over 16 years, and most of my career has been with new construction. I love this part of it, and I'm with Realogic Sotheby's as Sales Director at Graystone. The Graystone project does stand out, I think, with all of the condominium offerings right now in Seattle. The building itself, you can see, is just stunning. It's a mid-century modern feel. And it's located on First Hill, which is the only one of its kind. First Hill has offerings of historic buildings, tree-lined streets, pocket parks. And the developer, Daniels Real Estate, was really focusing on quality of life and aesthetics, you know? So we have this waterfall park that we're putting in. It's a beautiful sculpture by Julie Fidel. You'll see artwork throughout the building. And we really focus on high ceilings, bright and airy open spaces. And you can see these are some of the community spaces we'll dive into more. But also that this is all an extension of your home. And this is one of the homes showing just a lot of windows, maximized for light and airflow, which I thought was very thoughtful. And the community space is designed for if you want to pop out and be around other people, or if you want to carve out a little space for yourself for some personal time, you can. But this is all also part of your home. That's a wine bar that we'll get into later. You can pop up on the roof deck, watch the sunset, watch the sunrise. And we're really focused on building a community in the place. So it's like a neighborhood within itself. And I'm so fortunate because I get to work every day with the senior project manager from Daniels Real Estate, Luis Borrero, and he is here, and look at that. He's gonna give us some story about Daniels Real Estate and really the history in Seattle. They're a local developer. So, yeah.
Correct. Well, thank you, Stephanie, very much. I'm going to pause here a second. I'm going to thank you, Ashley, for the invitation. Thank you, Stephanie, for asking me to join you. I think that at the beginning, and given the year we've had, we're definitely having a very close relationship here with the developer. And before anything, Luis Borrero is my name. I worked with Kevin Daniels and Daniels Real Estate a year ago. The weirdest year of our life, for sure, but it's been incredible. And it's met all the expectations I had, because I know Kevin Daniels over 15 years ago, and I've known him in every capacity. And I've seen the evolution of this firm. And so it's a pleasure to represent him here, and it's an honor. And for those of you who don't know Daniels very well, I prepared a little slideshow to talk about the critical projects that I think are relevant to anybody who wants to buy a condominium in this tower, because I think that one of the clear things is that the Graystone Tower is so much more than your unit, right? And it's so much more than the space, the lock and leave style, the condo unit that you have a key for, but it's not only the amenity spaces, the park, but it also is part of a broader network of buildings and companies and true believers in basically the Seattle market and the brand of Daniels himself. So the reason this is very particular, the location of this project, as you said, Ashley, is that it's 2 blocks away from the Fry Art Museum, and it's it's a true joy to find that Daniel's first project pretty much was around the Fry Art Museum. Of course, the entitlement part, the development part of things, they were in charge of hiring Olson Sundberg or Olson Walker at the time, I don't remember, but it is definitely a flagship building for them, and it's right across the street, and it's meaningful in other ways. But let me run quickly here, just locating things and, to put things on perspective of where things are. So this is the location of the Graystone Tower, 2 blocks to the left, the Friar Museum, which is this glorious building from a previous architect called Paul Theory, and then remodeled by Olson Sandberg, as I said. Then the Starbucks Center, which is an icon in Seattle. The old Sears Rose Bowl compound was brought to life by Nitsi Stagen. Kevin was president of Nitsi Stagen, and through that they did this project. They did the Union Station project that gave him the first national award for historic preservation. And for those of you who are not very familiar with this, it's not only the building itself, but actually the entitlement of those parcels behind it that gave origin to Vulcan's building and the Amazon first headquarters. So it's been critical to the development of our region the last 2 decades. Equally important, the Merrill Place, and this is a typical photo that you see there, but the reality is that this is the core of a 4-unit compound that actually has a street frontage to Pioneer Square we all recognize, but it's definitely beyond broader than you can imagine. So in that area as well, the Gridiron condominiums are critical to kind of close the city into the kind of area of the stadium and provide an incredible backdrop and a great opportunity that I'm sure is going to be great as soon as that Washington State open area is defined. The Nolo building, phones are ringing. The Nolo building and the Wave, the Stadium Place project is fantastic as well, and you probably are familiar with them as they become icons of the Seattle skyline, and especially during games since they sit right back there. So it is definitely this whole neighborhood that Daniel has been pouring into, and recently completed the most amazing tower I find in Seattle. I could talk about this for a while, but it's incredible what they did with development rights, with the preservation of the church. Is an incredible effort, and an architecture that is distinctive and always exceptional, never ordinary is their slogan. So I think that this project really reveals kind of all of the aspects of Daniel's real estate, and it got him pretty much every kind of award nationally as a developer for the offices themselves. And you can see the beautiful integration between old and new, and part of the DNA of Daniel's is, I remember there was a billboard in that building saying sustainability starts with preservation. So Kevin is a supporter of Historic Seattle, the Washington State Trust for historic preservation. It's a constant reminder that Daniel's projects are about serving the core of Seattle and shaping its skyline, right? And so that's really what Daniel's represents for me. And I hope that your viewers can see it. And it gives us opportunities to enjoy places like this nowadays. One of the most amazing auditoriums out there are now managed by the Lotte Hotels, but it's designed by Philip Stark. And it is really unique, a wonderful place that Seattle has thanks to it. And of course, the skyline has been impacted by it. So now that brings us to the Graystone. That is where we are. And it is a really wonderful building. It's a little different in that it's a lot more subtle, a lot more elegant, a lot more silent. But sophisticated elegance fits well into this word. And it's not only what the aesthetics of the building are, but the team behind it as well that came along. So Element Architects, the year that they got this project, they were named AIA National Award Firm. And Turner Construction, which is impeccable. They rarely do condominiums. We got Robin Shell, which has developed quite a name in the high-end residential market of homes. And she brings that now into each condo unit and to our overall shared areas. Hewitt Landscape Architects, and of course, we are Logix and everybody else that is working with us. It's a really unique team that we're bringing on. And as part of this effort is this idea that it goes beyond what you're seeing. You're part of a set of projects that have won national awards. This is from the website. You can just go see how many awards Daniel's Development has gotten. It's very important, but more impactful to me right now, at least, is this new building. The opening this May is the old seminary in St. Edward's Park, and is basically a true jewel. And part of what I'm trying to communicate is that when you live in the Graystone, you go beyond the building that you're getting into. It goes to all this, and actually we've gone a step beyond and ensured that our manager, Columbia Hospitality, also manages this beautiful hotel, such that users, homeowners in the Graystone are going to have access to these parks and these open spaces and the hotel through the same concierge service. so that, it's very clear that it goes way beyond what you're getting in the building. I think that's kind of what I wanted to convey.
I was just going to piggyback on that. You don't see a lot of local condo developers, so I think it gives it a really special feel. Yeah, and so before we started, we were talking about First Hill too, because you don't see new condo projects on First Hill. I don't even know when the last time that was. Mm-hmm. So it's just a great, unique area. It's right in between, I'm going to do a little slide, right in between Capitol Hill and downtown.
Yeah, First Hill is often one of those neighborhoods that's, kind of overlooked, right? And it's so convenient to get on the freeways. It's very convenient to get downtown. You have all the amenities of Capitol Hill. Of course, the hospitals are there too. So, if you have any medical or work in the medical field, it's very easy to get to the hospitals there. So yeah, it is an area that does get overlooked. And also it's just far enough from downtown. Like you feel like you're in your kind of little residential zone. So it does have a great feel to it. Actually, when I first moved to Seattle, I did live in First Hill. And that's one of the things I've always loved about it.
Oh, you did?
Well, First Hill is perfect because it's, uphill from downtown and is near Capitol Hill and is near the hospitals and all the networks of vehicle accessibility. But it also is loaded with history. And, for those of us geeks, one of our partners, Historic Preservation, we have this beautiful book describing how people in downtown started kind of colonizing up the hill. That was a logging hill. And you can see how they started creating kind of the first mansions and the first kind of families that started moving up the hill. That started it. And then through the centuries have been in an incredible round of transformations that leave us what we have today. That is what Stephanie's talking about.
Yeah, no, the history is so cool. I just love architecture in general, and there's just such a flavor here that you don't necessarily see in other neighborhoods. And then the restaurants are in abundance. I had no idea actually, but basically anything you're in the mood for is around, and it's a lot of local owned restaurants too, which is, usually fun and interesting and inspired. And the St. James Cathedral, that building is so beautiful too. So
it's also a cultural center of a national degree. It has the most amount of theaters, presentation venues, walking distance from First Hill. So it's really a classic.
Yeah, some super fun date night venues. I don't know, have you ever done Town Hall?
I haven't, no.
That is a fun, just put it on your list for when we can go back out again. They usually have some pretty neat things there that are just something to do, and so anyway, yeah, great neighborhood.
Good. Yep. And it's booming. I think it's, again, one of those neighborhoods that I know there's some larger apartment building communities that are going into, and I think that it's going to be transformed, just as in the same location that kind of where Nexus is sitting to by the freeway. It's kind of the same thing, that those two areas are the next to kind of fill out. All right. Do you want to jump into kind of more about the building? And I think you have some virtual tours you wanted to share too, which would be great.
Sure. So this was the lodge that I was describing a minute ago, and I wanted to briefly touch on the subject of, there you go, it was loading. So I was just mentioning Columbia Hospitality as our manager, but what I want to show you here is that we've created a unique strategic brand partnership with genuinely Seattle companies. We think that we reflect the spirit and they get our story. And I think that this seeking of brands around the Graystone is really telling of who we are and how we're different and how we're really committed to the city. We are, creating 1,500 jobs out of just directly this, but it goes beyond everything that we're talking about. And I like to bring it down to tell you about the history of this site in particular that I think is worth sharing. And this corner of the world in 800 Columbia Street was the office of Paul Ferry. I came to the University of Washington in the year 1999, and I heard about Paul Ferry then. I was not, very aware of his office, but this article is by Margaret Rose Hancock, which is the CEO of the AIA for about 25 years. She retired already about 10 years ago, but it's from her. And so I know where it comes from. I know exactly how relevant it is. I want to point out the Architectural Hall 147 for those of you in the University of Washington Architectural School. Go check out Thury name, that's Paul Thury. And so Paul Thury designed, it was basically, if you look at it in Wikipedia, is considered the father of architectural modernism in the Northwest. And that's quite a statement. And these are some of the buildings that, you know, from the list that they have in the Wikipedia page only, that actually talk about the relevance today. So the Fry Art Museum, ironically, and that's why I was saying that this project kind of closes a loop, that was Paul Thury's project before the remodel that Daniels led. The original Mohai building, that everybody knows the Mohai from Amazon now in South Lake Union, Amazon sponsor, you know, but the original building from Mohai, the Museum of History and Innovation, was here in the Arboretum, and it was demolished to create the 520 connection, right? You see the arena at the Seattle Center, and I could not believe that this building is Paul Thury's, because it could not be more relevant. Next year, opening with a new climate change pledge arena. It's going to be as relevant as ever has been. And more importantly, I think Paul Thury doesn't get enough credit, but he was the supervising architect of the Seattle World Fair, if you need anything else, right? So all of the architects that we like and admired, like Yamasaki and Graham, and the people who made these iconic buildings actually were coordinated by Paul Thury himself. And he designed the arena. That's an architecture project, but the overall supervision and project organization is his credit. So he's quite a figure in Seattle, and I want to just bring it up. And next year, we're going to do a series with historic preservation about the importance of Paul Thury. And that little building, that nondescript in the middle of the picture, you see, that was his office. That's where he created all of these wonderful buildings. That's where he planned things and made them happen. And in a way, that's what we want to communicate through our building. This is the place for you to come and make it happen. You're already in Seattle probably, or you're looking into Seattle, but you're in a place in life where you want to commit and you want to move on to the next level and create wonders. That's kind of the spirit that we want to celebrate. This shows the original state of the building in 2011 when it was demolished, unfortunately, and it was way before Daniel got involved in the project. But it was, used as something else, and it was demolished. And so that is the origin of this amazing parklet that Daniels is putting out there, where there was the office. Now we have a void, and it's a park that is meant to bring together the community of Brazil. The neighbor building across the street, the Skyline House, is supposed to bring light and energy, perhaps through some musical appropriations, but overall to communicate the air of elegance and sophisticated design and the arts that go with the Daniels brand all along. And goes a little further, because I was doing some research and I found this amazing quote by Paul Thury that says, buildings should be good neighbors. And this is from an architecture book, if you want to go read it. It has a whole theory about it, but it goes hand in hand with the decorum concept. And decorum, as you probably can read over there somewhere, it says being dressed correctly, being appropriate for the occasion, right? Not call attention to yourself, know when to be silent, and, carry yourself with decorum. And I think that is definitely what Element has brought here. When Daniel got the building, they had 17 materials. Element brings experience and sophistication to know what works long-term and quality, and they kind of redress the building and they kind of focus on the most elegant portions. And that's what we're trying to bring along with Paul Thury. Not only that, but you see it in our background right here. He's our slogan that we believe in, and we move with it. And our sales center, our preview center right now, we're opening the sales center in May, is located in Madison in the Swedish hospital area. So imagine during the COVID times, it's a tough place to be, but it's also an interesting place to be, see how you can help and be a good neighbor. And we started our campaign with our first effort, actually doing the Graystone campaign. This image on the screen shows our building here, the 800 Columbia location. We are located less than 5 blocks from the 3 major hospitals. Never been a better time to be close to a doctor, right? And now that February 16, everyone in the Swedish hospital industry is going to be vaccinated. There's not even the stigma around. Now you can really come live next to them. And also the other connection comes from the Graystone Manor. This was a classic building here in First Hill. And it was some sort of sophisticated club for people, non-pretentious though. It is part of what we believe in. Daniel's project is about bringing housing for Seattleites of all incomes, right? Our price ranges are from 500 to 1.5. It's pretty logical in a city with 800 and something thousand average of a home. So we embody that, but the sophisticated elegance doesn't pertain to economic status. It comes to an eye for things. And so the Graystone Manor is the origin, the namesake of our name. That's where the Graystone comes from. We want to celebrate that sophisticated elegance and that kind of extra club membership, like a community belonging, really, that's what it is. And on our trip here, you see the location of our tower in 800 Columbia. You see our sales center number 1 and number 2. We stop in the original location of this manor and talk about it. It's a good opportunity to tell you that Stephanie is great at riding bicycles, and I like them a lot. And so we have, this is part of our partners.
That was my first time.
But now we're so much better. And it's wonderful to actually have the opportunity to take people to go see the construction of the site and pedal through those cobblestones and see the light come through the trees and the air that uphill creates, right, from all the air that's coming below. It's really a way to connect. And so how do we come to today? And you were talking about First Hill and the development that is happening. So you see the cathedral in the center there, but to the right, you see also the Skyline House is adding another tower for assisted living facility. Back there, there's Lanted Towers. That's where the Friar Museum are. Those are the Friar Towers. Here to the left, the name escapes me, but there's 400 and something apartments coming there as well. Same as that one over there. So we have about 1,200 units coming to market in the area for apartment rentals, right? There are no condominiums in Seattle, and that is something that I want people to understand, the value that it creates around us. We're not exaggerating. I got this image to show the location. The vertical represents the number of units. If you look at the apartment houses to the right, you know, they're the majority, and they're significantly larger than the condominiums. The condominiums are small and they're old. And you see the majority of the space up here on First Hill is not residential. So the opportunity to get a condominium on First Hill of new high-rise construction that stands earthquakes and has that look and feel that we like so much from other parts, right? But it's up on the hill in a neighborhood is really unique. We're not exaggerating when we say it's an opportunity to get into it now. So with that, I'm gonna pass on to the subject of the building itself, which is great. And we're gonna explain quickly here how the building operates, and then Stephanie's gonna take it. But we have a first level that is extension. As I said, there's 7,000 square feet of parkland on the lower level, 2,000 more above. So it's 9,000 square feet that we're giving to the city, the inhabitants to use and enjoy. And we have 12,500 square feet of amenity services. But if you look at this floor plan, I want you to see that you have the vehicular access here in the middle. You have bicycle access to all the electric bikes that will be part of the building. You just take your bike and go wherever you go, because First Hill is perfect for that. You have storage, dock walk. You have back of house services that are going to help us create some amazing food delivery and package delivery system with Columbia Hospitality we're working on. It has a gymnasium that opens up to the plaza and integrates these food sites on the street. And all of these areas that you see here are lobbies. And I want to emphasize that if you look at any other tower, usually you go in and then you go up. But we are committed to enhancing the experience of the public realm, to putting eyes on the street. Our second level is just like a balcony over all this. And you have some storage, but we are devoted to making this the network where you meet your buildings, you meet your neighbors, you meet everybody. And then we have a rooftop amenity that Stephanie's gonna go deeply in, as basically how the spaces open their terraces, but they're covered. So you're protected from wind. It's like an outdoor room, perfect for COVID times now. And then we have the other half into 4 rooms that can be subdivided into 2 or 4. We'll go into that. But big picture items are, we have 2 sections of the tower. One, the lower tower, which is serviced by 1 set of elevators. And it has 8 feet, 11 inches, 9 feet almost of clear space, floor to ceiling, right? And it has 12 units per floor. And then this one is the upper tower, and we have 8 units per floor. And the ceiling heights are 9 foot 2 clear. So it's a little more spacious. And then we have the penthouses that are 4 units per floor with 11 foot 8, and those are really outstanding units themselves. And then in the special heights of several floors for transitions or mechanical to make this happen, bring floor number 6, that is the top of the podium, number 19, 23, and 35. We have 10 foot 2s and 10 foot 5. So you can see how kind of complex it is, also because every floor is different in the sense that if you have 2006 in dark finishes, that corner, 2106 has light finishes. and then 2206 would have the dark ones again. So we have like a checkerboard such that none of the units has the same views. If you really like a unit with those finishes, with that view, you cannot get it above, below, left, or right. So, you know, that we're encouraging people to fall in love with a unit, reserve it, and then decide, depending on where everything goes with everything that is happening in the planet. We understand that. So, Stephanie.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. This is actually, I know you had mentioned, Ashley, that you sort of played around with it, but this is actually available from any device. You can load these 3D tours. We use drones for the views and went down to a really high level of accuracy, which is amazing. So this is a tour of the roof area. Obviously, there's the media room. And we'll head on out.
We decided to record a video to make it easier not to interact with it, but this is real time, and it's incredible what we think that the development of the technology itself is a story of its own, but we're just going quickly.
It definitely is a story of its own. Yeah. The finishes are so beautiful. I love these floors so much. And this is, you know, a beautiful professional kitchen and dining area you could use to have friends over, or even just a solo night, go up and use it. Out here in the outdoor space, there's 2 separate fire pit areas and barbecues, which is really nice. You can see the doors open, so it's indoor, outdoor, you know, depending on the weather. And here's a little more bird's eye view of all the spaces.
It's so nice to have it weather protected like that.
Yes, yes.
It really changes the feeling of
Yeah.
And I think because it's so spacious, you know, even in COVID times, which there will not be COVID times when this building is finished, but you could go up and still enjoy it and feel safe, you know, socially distant.
Correct. Most of the art that you see here on the going around that's marked with this, we have a unique agreement with Foster White Gallery, our strategic partners in this realm, and we've actually licensed digital art both to support artists in moments like this at the beginning when we started, but also because they helped us kind of do the right licensing rights, and so we have amazing imagery that is for sale. Actually, in Foster White, it's Eva Isaacsen's place there, marked with this real Pacific Northwest institutions that are well represented, and you will see their art all over our units, our shared areas. We have a total of like 60 pieces, and we can make an art walk out of this building later, but that is also another subject.
I mean, and that's something that I love about this architecture and sort of the philosophy is like, it's more than just a unit. It's more than just a building. It's like an entire experience, like, which I think we need that, you know, visual art and culture, and it's just good for the soul. So.
Correct.
So that's our roof.
That's the roof experience, 9,000 square feet.
And while Luis is loading the lower level amenities, so the rooftop is the upper level amenities, and then we have the lobby and the business center and fitness and pet area and park on the lower level. So we'll take you through that.
It's so cool.
The water, oh, go ahead.
I love the 3D tour. So cool.
Isn't it cool? I know.
The trees, ironically, are smaller than they are in reality. I could not convince my 3D team to show them the scale. They go over the 6th floor, but they say, no, but you're going to lose the tower. So we're not exaggerating. Most of these renderings have beautiful trees, but actually Dennis went to an extreme end to preserve the roots and working with the city to make landscape that sustains the existing building and actually enhances it. And all that water features that you see are really like a storm retention system to help the city with the combined sewer overflow problems.
Yeah,
and
it double purpose, because I think just the sound of that water is going to be wonderful. I mean, I personally really like those homes that are right above that. I would open the window and have the water feature. Yeah, so great. So here's another bird's eye view.
Doghouse view showing the amount of lobby space available as your hall. There's 2 lobbies right? It's the whole surrounding of the building.
Right, and it's got that 2-story ceiling height. Here's where the concierge will be.
Right.
Which just, again, just plays into that light and airy and just quality of life. So here's the entrance, one of the 2 entrances, which I know, Luis, you really love that there's 2, just to give people their space so you're not just like crammed in, lining up. Yeah.
Or
I
people
love that light fixture.
Pets might want to enter one door, and yeah, I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, it's to connect it with the park, really. There were some limitations by the city not to open, so it was considered, but we managed to make a connection to the park, a connection to the street.
Very thoughtful.
And more than the entrance itself, what I like is the light and the space that just comes out of that building in the night. You're gonna see, you're gonna be part of it, and we're seeing that all over. And generous lobbies, recognizing that people have a condo and they need to meet somebody for a few minutes. They just sit them down. You could
have a friend stop by or do a quick, professional meeting too. And then the fitness center is that, we're looking at.
We have a whole back end of lockers and storage for packages. We're inventing this with Columbia Hospitality because obviously COVID has made unique situations for food delivery, for example. So we want to be on the forefront of solutions for new customers. And so we have plenty of space there.
Yeah.
Your gym.
Well, and then, I know, I love the gym. I love that it looks out onto the waterfall. So I'm like, this is where you get your heart rate up, you get ready for your day, maximize productivity, which is awesome.
Very nice.
And then we'll go into the second floor, which part of that 2-story entrance in the lobby is because the second floor looks down below. So you'll see that's where the business center is.
And you see how you click on the model? I want people to get familiar with just clicking on any window will open up, the dollhouse view, the 3D view, the 360 images.
Yeah.
A little bit the navigation of this. Those are storage areas that I know you like to
storage that we're going to address that. Yeah. So there are storage spaces. And the business center is designed for, maximizing productivity, I think, with today's workers. So there's spaces where you can sit out in the open with other people around, which I tend to like to do, like with a cup of coffee. But then there's also private meeting rooms too. If you need a quieter space, but you still want to, be outside of your actual home.
So that is interesting because at the beginning, the building was, a lot more dense. And if anything we learn now is, to give more space. And so we've kind of reconfigured it to be a lot more spacious. Nevertheless, people will want to connect again. And what we have here is a whole floor devoted to working in a comfortable manner with privacy and with different areas. But it's an extension of your unit as well. So you don't have to work from your dining table all day.
I would totally use that. Yeah. And then there's a boardroom here, for the next big startup. Get it going.
And at least for the condo meetings, but also it's flexible, right? We have the ability to recondition that, and kind of help inform this. We're looking for our founders club right now. Really, that's what we're seeking. Is like the people who believe in this, who are gonna live here, and we're looking for home occupiers mainly, and who help us shape these minor decisions that will enhance their lifestyle. After all, they'll take control in 3 years. So we want to get ahead of that and work with them. And so that's really our match right now is people who, and actually the people who've been interested are actually people who actually want to live this and that can see the use value, can see themselves falling in love with the home and making a life, right? And that has been a positive reaction ever since.
So this is a 1-bedroom urban, so that open 1-bedroom concept. And this was one that Luis pre-recorded. So this is something you could do on the app or on the web. Or I've actually been doing a lot of Zoom appointments with people and then just guiding the tour also as you get familiar with it.
You can send the link just to the unit and then it really loads in seconds.
So you can see dimensions, the actual floor coloring and the cabinet coloring and the appliances are actually what we're putting in the homes. It's amazing. And the views as well.
that was a big effort undertaken by digital architects who took a whole procore set like the builders do and recreate every aspect of this building to the degree that was possible.
It's so amazing.
You can see drop ceilings, you can see the exact appliances that you're getting, the exact finishes you're getting. The decoration and the furniture is from Inform Interiors. We work hand in hand with Robin Shell.
Actual furniture.
Actual furniture that is
yeah.
a turnkey solution. If you want to package with this, it's ready to go for you. You can buy it from abroad. You can have it set up when you arrive.
Nice.
The effort done, and then the Reserve Now button, which is incredible.
Right.
I'll show you live in a second, but anything to add about the unit that you love?
Well, that one, 602, so it sounds like just a number, but it's actually a really nice, it's on the 6th floor, like Luis was talking about. So it has higher ceilings, and it's also on the west side of the building, so it's going to get a lot of sunlight. That's one of my favorite ones, then, which is why we chose it to show.
What was the total square footage of that unit?
I think it was 539.
Nice.
The Graystone, so the Graystone's going up on 8th and Columbia, so 800 Columbia Street.
One block above the parking lot of the polyclinic, you can see it from there. Which, by the way, actually, this app is useful to tell you about it. But that is the parking lot of the polyclinic down here. That is zoned in at least 100 or 150 feet less than this. They just underwent an $8 million project, so we don't think that's going to go anywhere for a long time. But everything around us is changing, of course, in a growing city.
But that's another reason why I like that home. So now Luis is going freestyle right now.
Well,
live.
not freestyle. I'm just using the application, and I want to talk a minute about this because we've this is really an innovation excitement that I get here.
Amazing, yeah.
We've been working with a team the guy that leads the software part is a Russian guy that lives in Canada but has an office in Panama, and then he hired some people from Uruguay that live in Colombia, and so it's like a very international team of people doing fantastic work. But they were able to create with us here an opportunity to take the app out of this and create it a software tool to run on the web, and I think that's incredible because usually the capacity to render polygons on an iPhone it's limited, but you can take this experience directly from the website or download the app if you want, but let's just talk about the website from any browser and any device, and you can explore with accuracy dimensions, 3D views, jump in and out like you've been seeing. You can understand the exact conditions of the unit, the finishes, but also has the drone views that Stephanie was talking about. Is like we take a picture for every window looking out. Of course, we make the disclaimer that this is the best intention. We try to inform you, we're not liable by the exact location of that tree, but it hasn't been done that I've seen. And also we have the view out of every window, the 271 units in this building. The unique connection of Robin Shell, Inform Interiors, and Foster Y Art makes it an experience for inspiration and connection with others. And you can actually enjoy it if you download it on AR. And I think I wanted to show you that really quickly.
This is the freestyle.
Which is the augmented reality. So you're actually seeing what I'm seeing right here. And you can actually go around and see the same experience. And you can actually go see every unit, the condition they're in. You can actually select the ones that are one bedrooms, right? And ones that adjust to a price you're looking for, right? And so then you can move about. When you're in AR, you don't spin it, you move around the building and you go and enjoy.
We've actually gotten a lot of compliments on this from tech buyers.
No, it's so cool.
Right? And then you just experience the whole thing from AR perspective. And it is really unique, and it gives you a different impression. And so I believe that you're looking at my screen right now. That's the living room of this 1802 unit that is fantastic. You can have the same 360 that we showed you a minute ago, but this is what is really amazing to me is that you can click a button and reserve a unit, and you go through the process with DocuSign. I'm not gonna super bore you, but fill the forms in DocuSign. You make the payment using PayPal, right? And with $5,000 right now, you can reserve this unit, take it off the market. When you're complete with this process, it appears as busy, as occupied, basically. In other words, what I'm saying is, you see the status of this thing. So some units are, available. Some units are on the market, but we've also decided to open up all the inventory that we think can help inform every type of unit in the building, right? And so you've never experienced this in a condo tower, such that you can actually explore every opportunity you have. And I also give credit to Realogics for that, because we also invented that wheel of making the ability to reserve online legally through the Washington state rules and everything. And so we are really pushing a unique experience here, and we hope to attract, sincere believers on this concept we're pushing, and that goes beyond the four walls around you. And
yeah, so we did the urban 1-bedroom. I mean, I kind of feel like we should just go for the penthouse and just show you the fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is honestly very impressive, very cool, elevated kind of experience of being able to kind of search, and especially nowadays when people aren't, necessarily coming down to the view gallery, they want that experience. Very technical.
Yeah, I've done so many Zoom appointments now. Yeah, it's starting to become just natural.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to get back to in person though, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our penthouse 3605. So you can see 1816 square feet, 2.5 bedrooms, so 2 plus den, 2.5 baths. And so I'm clicking the 2 or 360 button, and then all the photos show up, and you can just jump in.
Give them a second to load.
Wait for it to load, yes. And you can, engage it on and off, so you can really get a chance to look. There's some actual original artwork. So many details. And the penthouse, so we're showing the finishes in here, but you can actually, there's still time to customize also.
The penthouse pretty much can do what they wish in their finishes. We'll help them through.
Look at that view though. Oh.
Yeah. This is the north corner or southwest?
This one,
the northeast.
Northeast.
It looks to South Lake Union. The cathedral is down to the right, I believe.
Yeah, I can go back over.
Yeah.
Would this be one of the larger penthouses you have?
This one is actually, so this is 1,800 square feet. We go up to 2,000.
Okay.
So they're pretty
close.
close.
Is this top floor or is it top 2?
Just the top floor. There's 4 homes total, and 1 is already reserved, so 3 left. Yeah.
We thought I shot that one, Ashley, because you like the Facebook 360 Interactive. That's where this comes from, right?
This is the one.
That's that's one of the 2 we pushed, and it's gotten great reception.
Yeah, I just happened upon it actually yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I was clicking through. I was like, this is so cool.
It is so cool.
Nice.
It's been fun for me to work so closely with the developer also. I mean, I'm learning so much too.
Look at the level of detail of the bathrooms. The hardware itself is the original hardware that is, straight here. The penthouse is a little liberty, but every other unit is absolutely by what you see is what you get. Of course, upon delivery of appliances that are discontinued, there might be some adjustments, but the overall picture is exactly helping people to see the vision that we have and helping them to enjoy it.
So overall, what are the offerings for like smart home technology that you guys have?
So we have a central brain for each home installed, and that controls most features of the house. We have done enough research to know that we don't want to marry any brand and make any package. It becomes obsolete quickly. So we're having an open code, pretty much, system installed, and you can control and program your Lumitrons if you want it. We're delivering the units with manual shades, as you see there. And the package to upgrade them comes from the app itself. There's upgrades of all kinds, but right now that is the thinking behind this.
Well, and that actually ties into the reason we're leaving it open. This is a 2022 completion, right? So it does leave opportunity. Oh, sorry, Ashley.
Yeah, you have some time.
We have some time, yeah. So that leaves the option to do a little bit of customizing also, yeah.
Right. And then as far as appliance packages, just generally not penthouse specific, but throughout the building, what are you guys putting in the units?
So I'm going to show you a really cool feature here on the app, because I think that ultimately the hardcore users of this app are going to be brokers like yourself. Love to give you a training, because you have the list of units right here, right? And you can actually learn a lot. If you have a relation with us, we can give you a PIN and you'll unlock all of this information, so there's no confusions. You can click on any unit and I'll take you there, quickly. But also you have a list of specifications to your touch right here. And so, we have the most advanced heat pumps. Sustainability is ingrained in Daniels to an nth degree. I used to lead tours of urban sustainability best practices for 6 years, at some point in my career. And Kevin was there in Shanghai, in Copenhagen, Kevin Daniels in Cuba. And so I know the degree to which he takes sustainability. And right now, the heat pumps are the nth degree. The water management is fantastic. The location itself, the connectivity, all the lead points for neighborhood, are granted. And so light fixtures are LED. I mean, everything that is smart in today's world is into this building. That's what I like to say. So can also quickly, for out-of-towners, you can see quickly the location of the building, right? The relationships. You can zoom out and, clearly get a picture. So I think that for more information for anybody, I would just recommend go to the website, sign in for the 3D tour. You can access it right there from the browser. And if you really enjoy it and like it and want to carry it around so you can show it out of your pocket to any client, download it and we will make you an expert on it.
You were also, Ashley, asking about like logistics, like parking,
yeah,
right?
Let's touch on that. We only have about 5 minutes here.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and touch on your parking and the storage options and start there. And there's a few other questions I had written down too. And then anyone who has a specific question, throw that out on chat too.
Yeah, please do. So parking, we actually have an abundance. We have, so there's 271 homes altogether, and we have 200 parking spots available. Right now, we are allowing any home to reserve parking and move toward purchase of parking. That probably will not last because we are going to start to limit it. But at this point, we're open to if someone feels like they want a spot. Yeah, so that's great. Parking is $75,000. And we also offer EV spots. So you don't have to take your car to the concierge. You just drive up and plug it in. And those are at $85,000. Which I think is a great investment because that is our future, as we know.
We have 16 scalable to 64 for when the demand is there.
Right.
And so, but if you want one of the EV parking, you have to move quick, I guess.
And then we do have storage available, as you saw. How many storage do you know the total?
About 90. So it's about 143.
And those are 5,000.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah, and kind of ballpark thought actually is that the 195 parking stalls we have in the building right now are devoted to the Seattle people. They're reserved for everybody who has a home to have access to a parking spot. Of course, 2 bedrooms and penthouses will demand more, but of course, some studios will not want that and rather take a discount. So that's kind of what we're thinking is, but something that makes this tower very different from any other condo tower is parking availability. If you look at our competition, there's very few that offer parking for sure.
Parking is gold in this town.
And in this age, I mean, it unfortunately happened, but now we all want electric vehicles. But we're also powered by a fleet of electric bikes, take you up and down that hill like nobody's business. We
have the rad bikes. That was what that picture was my first time on a rad bike, not a regular bike.
And it is fantastic, and it is really working. And so you drive up the hill to the streetcar, and you can be in the station in 2 minutes, or you can drive down the hill, and then you have the light rail right there. And we're so well served by mobility solutions. My point is, that parking is a nice to have, and you can use it to go to St. Edward's Park, or you can use an electric little bus we plan to have with Columbia Hospitality. But in this day and age, we think it's a great advantage to offer a parking spot for every home.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and then the other sort of logistic piece is how to secure a home. So right now we're taking reservations. We're 10% reserved. So 27 homes are reserved. And that basically is a non-binding hold that just prevents anyone else from reserving the home. And then starting in May, we're going to convert to actual contracts.
Yes,
Good.
Yeah.
And then
which is
what's the percentage that you're going to be acquiring at that point?
percentage, you mean homeowner occupancy?
Yeah, for reservation, is it like 5% down or?
The reservation's a $5,000 refundable deposit, and then purchase and sale is 5% earnest money.
Great.
Correct.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then we're working towards completion, 2022. Is it?
We're saying quarter three, 2022. It's theoretically in the middle of August, which is the middle of quarter three, right?
Yeah.
So it can go up and down, but we're saying comfortably quarter three, which actually puts us, in 18 months, beginning February. Actually, I'm happy to have this opportunity, Ashley, because we're finally coming out with this story. We're putting out ourselves there on February 1. March, we're opening the preview center officially. We're engaging and signing reservation agreements, and we will have the full sales center open in the month of May, middle May, and at that point is when we're going to start converting reservations to PSAs.
Right. So the sales center will actually have a kitchen vignette, a dining area, and a bathroom, so people can see beyond the 3D tour. They can actually see
Good.
the home. Yeah.
So now we're here. We might get cut off, so I'm sorry to kind of rush everything.
No.
Ending,
this was so great.
Properly say thank you. And for those of you who are listening or watch the recap video, if there is any questions you have, feel free to reach out. We'll post your guys' contact information. And I think your guys' website and the app is kind of where it's at in terms of resource for information. So thank you.
Graystone.com. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day. Is there anything else you want to say?
Just thank you again, Ashley, for this opportunity.
This was fun.
We'll see you here in the center soon. I know.
Yep, for sure. Thank you. And we learned a lot today. I appreciate it.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.